issue related essay. Every now and then you will get one or two essay from social issue. So this method is very, very important for any essay of social issue. Let's take the example of UPSC civil services essay itself. The essay says patriarchy is the least observed, yet the most significant form of social inequality. What does it mean? Patriarchy exists everywhere, everywhere, at every layer. But yet people are so comfortable about it. When you see a woman working as nurse or majority of women working as nurse, it's perfectly fine. People do not question it, even do not observe it. It has become so much internalized in the humanity. Why so? Because since we were discussing the historical evolution, since the human settlement became more permanent, the patriarchy grip became so firm. And since then, the patriarchy slowly has become the part of psyche. So it is least observed, yet most significant. Why most significant? It is most significant based on several parameters. The first parameter is the quantum. The quantum, because the patriarchy is being applied on almost half of the population of the world. So just based on the quantum, it is most significant. Secondly, it is acting in almost all layers, right from the family to the workplace to the leadership. You go to anywhere in leadership as well, you will see patriarchy. Attire, culture, festivals, patriarchy is everywhere. The other forms of inequality, whether it is racial inequality, whether it is the economic inequality, gets multiplied because of patriarchy. You will see that in a matrimony, when they are asking about girl in newspaper, in articles, when they advertise, they are writing complexion of girl. So that becomes manifold. Economic inequality is because economic inequality is also more towards women because of patriarchy. So the patriarchy is magnifying other things as well. There is a concept in sociology and in society as well. This was magnified and explained by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is called as intersectional identity. What does it mean? Intersectional identity means if you are a woman, you belong to depressed caste, you're also poor. That means there are three levels of inequality, which is making you most vulnerable. That is called as intersectionality. This is the essence of the essay. Now, how to write the problem solution based essay? What is the blueprint of it? So naturally, the problem will come first because social issue means problem. You cannot start with no, there is no poverty, there is no hunger. No, you have to first explain the problem, explain the issue. And you will explain the issue by breaking it in the different dimension where patriarchy manifests. You will start from the family and social hygiene itself. You must have observed, specifically in villages, women used to eat last make them. Even in the, I have seen when I used to go to functions in my ancestral villages, I used to see that women used to go and eat in functions also last. And in many functions, they were not even allowed. So preference in food, education, right from the celebration of birth is something which is inspired from gender. The toys that are given, a girl will be given mostly teddy bears, okay, dolls, such kinds of toys. Boy will be given small gun. So you are differentiating that concept like boys don't cry. Why they don't cry? They are also human. Showing your emotion is no weakness. It makes you more compassionate. That doesn't mean you will keep your emotions on the sleeve. That's why there is a concept of emotional intelligence. Second dimension is education. So at educational level, you can see, I can go at length. The patriarchy in education itself can become a 1 hour lecture, but we will discuss when the theme wise classes will start. But let's take the example. At the level of inclusivity, at the level of equity or equality, there is a very wide gap. You see the literacy rate of women and men. There is a wide gap. You see the level of women's participation in science and technology, engineering and mathematics is low. The dropout rates enhances of girls as the level of education increases. Workplace, there is a concept of invisible glass ceiling. Invisible glass ceiling is because of the lack of social capital. Women are not able to reach the top of hierarchy, and that is the reason of reservations as well. The reservation was not just provided to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes because they were not they were not provided equal opportunity for thousands of years. But there was another concept, the concept that most of the top posts are being occupied by upper caste. So they will not be able to even enter. Forget about rising. That is why this concept, you must have read the story of Ekalavya and Dronacharya. That's the finest example of caste acting as barrier and excellence getting overshadowed by caste. Okay. So same goes with women. Same goes with women. Politics. So politics, though I don't need to say, you all know how politics in India works. It is completely seen as masculine role. There is complete use of brute power, money and muscle power. So females, now if you see the COVID-19 pandemic and how it was handled by different leaders, you will see that New Zealand performed really well. And the nation was led by a woman. We had a misconception in patriarchy that women cannot lead. There was a misconception that women are not equal intelligent. Aristotle, you read Aristotle. Aristotle had said very good things, but Aristotle was an extremely sexist person. So he had written also. So these things were part of the psyche and religion. So I don't want to talk. I don't want to go deep into it. Every religion, more or less, is patriarchal. Okay. Religion culture is there. You take any of the custom, you take any of the religion, and there are signs of patriarchy everywhere. Everywhere. Because the prime function of religion was when you were settling at one place, it was to control human being. And who were controlled the most? The women. So everything, every rituals were designed in a manner to control women, control sexuality of women, control the economic activity of women. Okay. So there was a question in sociology. Are all religion patriarchal? I think in 2019 or 2020, UPSC had asked this. There must be a reason behind it. Otherwise, they won't ask. Violence or mindset. Mindset can come at a level of conscience or ethical dimension as well. Phrases like "लड़की तो पराया धन है ना, मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता." These phrases are "लड़की पराया धन" means the girl doesn't belong to the family she is born. That's the problem of mindset. The rituals like Kanyadan. Why Kanya is supposed to be donated? The ritual itself is patriarchal. Okay. So these all nuances are part of the problem to explain the issue at multiple level. Then why the problem matters? Now people will say, who are you? You are a social reformer when you will talk about all these issues. Why this matters? Why we need to understand this, not only to clear the examination, but why the impact of this matters. At an individual level, if you are a girl, it suppresses your potential. It leads to mental stress. I talk to so many girl students and they say that my age is not is reaching 25 plus and I have several pressure of marriage, this and that, and this is my final attempt. Parents have said that I won't give you more number of attempts, etc. And that is why previously I used to launch some special discount for girl students. Then the scam used to happen that boy used to now present themselves like girl, and I cannot collect Aadhaar, etc. to breach the privacy. But these all things were happening. That's why I had to stop that. But initially we were having those things as well. Keeping this in mind, at family level, The toxic relationship. The toxic relationship is what? Even if you are working, even if you are working and you are engineer, you are earning, you are working in Google, you have a salary even more than your husband, still you will be looked upon, not only by husband, even if husband is interested, understanding their parents, they will expect from you the feminine roles. That's how the toxic relationship in India builds, or in any society which is patriarchal. There is a lack of balance. There is double shift, double burden. You must have observed. This is my finest observation. When I was looking, I was going to villages, I saw that most of the old women of 65 or 70 years age, their back was gone. They were walking now by bending the back. And all the old men, they were walking straight. So I asked this question from my maternal grandfather. He was a very rational person. He said this is because of the excessive harassment of work and the lack of nutrition that was provided to those generation of women. So this is something, and people will say that nowadays it doesn't exist. It exists perfectly. One of my student, she was from Haryana. She was choosing her partner. She was beaten by father and brother themselves. Then I had to intervene. Everything is happening in this generation. Everything is happening. So this is the impact. The impact is massive. There is a loss of talent. There is perpetuation of poverty at several level. Several level. There was a survey done by, I think, Pew. And from women, it was asked that if your husband is beating you, is it fine? 97% of women said, yes, it is fine. And the survey is not very old, 4 or 5 years old. Nation. So nation, though IMF, McKinsey, so many other organizations, economic organizations saying that it is impacting your GDP straight away. Why the GDP of state like Kerala or Tamil Nadu is more? The women participation is very good. That is why those states are rising. Patriarchy is there as well. I have observed that, but it is of less level. Patriarchy is everywhere. Patriarchy is even in USA. In some instances, even in Japan. You see the gender inequality report of Japan. There is gender inequality there. World. So gender inequality is blocking the SDG 5, the gender equality. And there is a beautiful concept. I was reading a book of Vandana Shiva. She had said that if women are empowered with the role of environmental leadership, then the environmental safeguard will become even better. Why so? Because it is the women who gets affected because of the environmental degradation the most. Why? She gave a beautiful example of the state of Rajasthan, where the women is supposed to bring water. If the water is drying, she has to walk more. She has to do work more. It is the women, if there is any kind of adverse impact on the level of environment, she will get impacted more. Why? Because she's vulnerable. Why she's vulnerable? Because economic safety is not there. She's not working. Most of the women in girls are not working. The scenario is still unchanged in several states in India. Okay. So there are so many things I can talk in great detail on this, because this is some topic which is very close to my heart. The solution. What is the solution? At individual level, be aware about your patriarchy. That's the best thing that you can do. When I grown up and went to college, I started observing my patriarchy. Now, what is the level of patriarchy that exists in me? The consciousness of that is something which will help you. Awareness. Second is sensitize. Get sensitized about gender. Gender sensitization is very, very important. Breaking stereotypes, your personal stereotypes, which there is no harm to accept that, yes, there is a level of patriarchy or sexism which exists in me. At family level, co-parenting, daughter's equality starts from the family itself. First of all, you need to take pride when a daughter is born. So this is the first step. Okay, Selfie with Daughter was a campaign launched by the government of India. At education level, curriculum reform. I have seen some of the textbook. I used to read some of the textbook in which ugly me girl was shown, a girl with the dark complexion. So this is what you are teaching to your younger generation. So curriculum, safe schools, compulsory gender sensitization at school level. That should be there. At workplace level, equal opportunity, equal pay, paternity leave, flexible work policies. Okay. At political level, there should be women reservation, and most important is internal party democracy. Until there will be internal party democracy, the talented people, not only women, but talented grassroots people will never come to fore. That's very, very important. That's long due. I don't know why it is not coming. There cannot be any democracy without having internal party democracy. At cultural level, question the regressive customs. You may be belonging to any particular religion. Mind you, those religions were codified in the eras where the patriarchy was at top. So there are customs. Sati was also seen as something which is fine. The founder of, I'm forgetting name, is a very great person. Founder of AMU. Okay, so he had challenged the patriarchy which was present in Islam. You take the example of Christianity. In Catholicism, still there is patriarchy. Okay, so at every cultural level, there are patriarchal mindset and thoughts that needs to be questioned, and we need to promote inclusive traditions at global level. Now, international movements are there. Now, he for she, UN women support, and so many things. Me Too movement was also there. So at solution, you have a plethora of things which you can discuss. So what I was discussing in fourth method was problem solution. It has to be applied in which type of essay? Social issue. Social issue is generally a problem. So I was discussing patriarchy is the least observed yet the most significant form of social inequality. So why it is least noticed is something which also you need to discuss in the problem as well. Why it is least noticed? Because it has become internalized in several generations. And there is another concept which is called as patriarchal bargain. So women to be accepted in the society does a kind of a bargain with patriarchy. You must have seen your sisters, if they have to do work, so they have to do a little patriarchal bargain. Okay, I will do work here close to home. I will be wearing this kind of cloth. So many restrictions. Concept is a bit difficult to understand, but I am trying to explain you with small examples. It is called as patriarchal bargain. There is another concept of that women is the enemy of women in patriarchy. So most of the time, all the dowry deaths which happens, the biggest culprit is the women itself. Okay, mother-in-law. So all of this is happening. Your mother itself starts the patriarchy. Your mother itself starts the patriarchy. If you have a son and you have a daughter, most of the time the mother itself will manifest it. So it has become internalized. That's why it's least noticed. Okay. So the problem and solution approach is a very good approach. And any kind of a social issue related essay if comes, this is the perhaps one of the best method to solve it. I am giving you essay topic which is very easy to understand, like drug and substance abuse among youth in India, a growing social challenge.